Hey, what's up? Samuel Leeds here, and this week on Winners on a Wednesday, we have Mr. James Armstrong. We met when he was 19.
I was 19, yeah.
You're now 21.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely killing it in property, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How did you get into property in the first place? What happened?
I met you at a networking event and listened to you talk and thought property sounds pretty awesome. And then you gave me your book, and then I read your book and then went through all your trainings, done the crash course, I've done the DFE, I've done the academy now. And yeah, it's just all thanks to your training.
How did you afford to do all the training when we met and you were like 19? How did you manage to get the money?
Well, the crash course is free.
That's true, and you got a lot of value from that.
So much fun. I still go, and it's still possibly the best 2-day course out there.
Yeah.
Then the DFE, I was able to pay for that out of my income. So sort of went on the instalment plan. That was financed from my work at the time. And then I signed up to the academy, and I got a loan for that.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than getting a student loan for going to university.
Have you paid off all those loans and stuff that you did for training?
I'm still paying off some of them, but I'm not really fussed. I'm kind of keeping my cash to one side to invest it rather than worrying about paying off the debt.
Okay, so you could pay it off, but you're choosing not to.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How much money are you now making through property?
About £4,000 a month.
About £4,000 a month.
Yeah.
You've quit your job.
Yeah, I quit that back in August.
That's cool. Congrats, bro. That's
Cheers,
so
man.
cool. So what were you doing then up until you kind of went full-time into property?
I was working as an electrician. I picked that up about 2 weeks after I started, deciding I wanted to get into property as a tie-over to pay for my training. The idea was always I was going to quit that once I was able to swap over the income.
Yeah.
And at the end of August, all my companies were incorporated and I was able to go full-time. And I had deals selling from then onwards.
And I remember when you came on the crash course, that must have been, about 18 months ago?
It was just over a year. It was January last year.
Just over a year. Wow.
Yeah.
So literally, all right, 13 months ago.
Yeah.
And I remember you said to me, I just don't want to be someone's bitch.
Yeah.
I can't stand the idea of being in a job whereby I'm working for someone else.
Yeah.
Really, what was it about having a job that you hated so much?
You know, I love the people I work with. It wasn't them. I just didn't like being in a position where I couldn't call the shots and where I wasn't in control of the hours I worked and the times when I go on holiday or even how much I got paid. You know, I wanted more. I thought I deserved more. So I knew that for me I needed to go self-employed.
And so much has changed in the last year.
Oh, so much.
It's almost scary. Like now, you know, you're always off skiing and you live such a different life. And you like to spend money, don't you?
Oh, I love spending money. I'm a natural spender.
I know you're saving well, which is great, but you know how to spend money well.
Oh, yeah.
You know the fancy restaurants and the holiday resorts.
I'm a big fan of skiing and I'm a big fan of steak, and neither of those are cheap. So
that's great. So tell us then, you came on the crash course. When did you, because there's so many different strategies that you can do in property. And one of the things that I think you've done so successfully is you've really focused, because sometimes we call it chasing the shiny penny.
Yeah.
So you'll see a strategy here. Oh my gosh, that's great. Oh, but this is good. Oh, and that's a good course. Oh, and this is a good book. And then what happens is you try and do everything and you lose focus and you end up doing nothing. Yeah. What's been your strategy?
So I went for deal sourcing.
Okay.
I mean, with deal sourcing, you have to learn about all the different strategies anyway, unless you just want to source HMOs. But I do bespoke sourcing, so it's a case of sitting down with an investor and finding out what's the best investment for them. So I've been through all the different trainings, so I know about all the different types of strategies. And after doing that, I thought, well, deal sourcing is what I want to do. It sounds like the most fun. It allows you to get started with no money. So I went and I did deal sourcing. And from then, I've done HMOs, single lets, rent to rents, rent to SAs, buy refurbs now, so kind of every strategy, but my strategy is deal sourcing.
So your income that you're getting from property, I know it's a good income, but it's active at the moment. Yeah. But why do you not mind it being active?
Because I love it, to be honest. And you know, people might go, oh, it's active or it's passive, but I earn like £4,000 a month and I do not do 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
You know, you can earn that doing like 10 hours a week. And take your financial freedom challenge, you earn £8,000 a week and probably didn't do 40 hours worth of work to get that 8,000.
Arguably. I spent most of it cutting my wig.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. So you're thinking fast pound stuff and then put that aside.
Yeah.
Interesting what you said about how you've got debts, but you don't want to pay them off. Why is that?
I don't see them as bad debts. I know I can pay them off pretty quickly if I want to. But for me, say I'm paying 10% on a loan, which is quite high, but say I'm paying 10% on interest. If I could take that money and put it into a property and earn 20%, that's a better return for me. So I'm still making 10% net. Well, if I pay it off, I'm not making any money.
But that's a completely new way of thinking.
It is.
Like, that is so un-old school.
Yeah.
Old school way of thinking is, if you've got a debt, just pay it off as fast as possible. But what you're saying is, I've got debts, but that's cool. I could pay them off. Like, how much debts do you have?
It's probably about I don't know, 9,000 now, 8,000.
About 9,000.
Not a lot.
You could pay them off, easy peasy, but you're not, because you'd rather invest that money or spend that money. And just, it's a really interesting way of thinking.
Yeah, so, I'm not too worried about it because I know I can earn more. And when you start a job like this and when you change your mindset, you don't think, I need to cut back because I've got more bills coming or anything like that. You go, actually, no, I'm going to spend what I'm going to spend. And if I'm short, I just need to earn more. Yeah. So it's quite easy as a deal source. You go out, find more deals and sell them. Yeah. It's kind of easy. And the same if you're doing rent to SAs or if you're buying HMOs, you just need to buy another HMO or just get another rent to SA deal. And then that pays for the gap that you've got.
I'm going to talk to you in a moment about how you find the deals, how you sell them, how you grow your investor list and all that kind of stuff. But before I do that, I know that you think that deal packaging, deal sourcing is just the best way. When we had our one-to-one and when you joined the academy, you were like, deal sourcing. Down the line, you wanted to do development and all kinds of stuff, but you were so focused. Why did you choose deal sourcing and why do you think that rocks so much?
I think because you're in charge of your time is the first thing. You're really in charge of what goes on. And the second thing is because to be a deal sourcer, you need to, as I said already, you need to learn about all the different types of strategies. So when you come to invest yourself, you know what's best for you and you can weigh up a good deal and a bad deal for yourself. That and the first thing I ever sort of heard you talk about was deal sourcing and about how you're like a deal sourcing machine. That's where you started. And without it, you wouldn't have been able to do what you do now because you wouldn't be able to weigh up deals. It
makes sense because if you think about it, like how long have you been on the academy?
Since June, so what's 7 months?
7 months, 8 months, whatever it is. So by the time you finish the academy after 12 months, not only will you have made a load of money, on maybe what, 50 grand?
Maybe more, yeah.
Maybe more, but not only that, but your knowledge will be so good.
Oh yeah.
Because not only have you done all the training, but you've not bought anything yourself necessarily. Maybe you will, but you've been packaging and selling. So you learn just as much. It's like the best way to learn ever.
Yeah, and my strategy as well goes further than that because I help the investors with all the refurb and with the conveyancing, everything like that. So I've done all the steps afterwards that you wouldn't normally do as a deal sourcer. So I have bought houses, although they're not in my name. I've bought houses. I've managed refurb projects. We've got a number going through. There's a kitchen going in today. I've done all the stuff anyway. I've seen tenants go in, so I've done the whole thing. So when I come to do it, exactly. And with regards to the training, I've earned 50k or whatever the figure is. My knowledge is worth way more than that. So as a return investment, 10 grand in for the academy, and I don't know, 100, 200 grand's worth of knowledge, way more probably. You can just keep going, keep making more money.
That's great. I love that. Tell me then, how do you source the deals? How do you know what deals to source? What kind of properties have you been sourcing?
So start off with HMOs, standard HMOs, very easy to find. Once you've done the deal finding extravaganza, you spend a day doing this. And I still like Rightmove, still like Zoopla. I go online, I find properties and I work out what my rents are going to be in the area. I work out what my rough house price is, set my filters and then just view every single property and click on it. In the space of a minute, you'll know whether or not it's a good or not bad deal.
You will.
Well, yeah. But I mean, say for example, you look at room size. It's there normally. You just scroll down, it doesn't match. Next one. And after that, when I book a viewing with an agent, I'll always ask them if they've got anything similar or what else they've got or what they've got coming to the market that's not online. So sort of, I'm booking a viewing for one anyway, but I'd say probably 10% of the time you get another viewing just from booking the viewing on the phone call because there's something else that comes up. So, and they're some of the best deals, direct to agent stuff.
Some of the deals that come off of the agent, off market, but you got in there in the first place from an on market deal. Okay. So what? So you go on Rightmove, Zoopla, wherever, all these sites, you find properties that look good, you go and view them, and then while you're viewing the properties, you might not buy them, but you then explain to the agent what you're looking for and use it as a get-in. And then you start getting off-market deals from agents. Is that your main strategy?
It's probably the main strategy. I still love looking online, speaking with other investors in the area. One time I was viewing a property and the lady was talking to me and just chatting about it. It was as a vendor viewing. She went, "Oh yeah, my brother's selling his house down the road." She goes, "Why don't we go knock on his door about 2:30 and go around?" So I viewed his house there, and it's currently going through that one now. That might be a good refurb project. There's room for development alongside it.
And I know you tell everyone you're an investor.
Oh yeah, tell everybody.
Yeah.
Tell absolutely everybody. It's the best way of finding sort of new deals and finding
It
new
is,
investors.
because then people start messaging, say, oh, you're a property investor. Like,
Yeah.
oh, my friend's selling actually, or we've got this property,
Yeah,
or my
yeah.
next door neighbour, and you start getting leads.
Yeah,
Okay, so specifically then, now, I know you started with HMOs, what would be a good deal then? Because I know there's a lot of sources out there that are really crap.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're one of the exceptions. You're one of the few people who, if someone goes on the Property Investors with Samuel Leeds Facebook page and says, I'm looking for a deal sourcer, I'll tag you, I'll tag Alistair.
Yeah.
There's probably 3 or 4 people that I would vouch for, and you're one of those. So what is the definition of a good deal?
Well, the first thing is it's all numbers, it's all figures. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It really doesn't matter. It's just how much is in, how much is coming out, and what's my return on investment. But it varies, because with a rent to SA, the ROI is going to be high. It's going to be really, really good. So that's more on cash flow. And the same for rent to rent. If a rent to rent deal is making less than £600 a month, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Rent to SA, probably about the same sort of figure. Otherwise, it's simply, what are the numbers? Is the rent reasonable? Have you spoken to an agent to know? If you're claiming it's BMV, is it actually BMV, or is it just below asking price?
So important.
And that it grates me a bit when people go, oh yeah, it's BMV. I'm like, well, it's not.
Yeah.
It's actually worth less than what you've asked.
One of the interesting things about you though, James, is a lot of your business comes from repeat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you have the same investors buy from you again and again. You've been in this game now full time for sort of 6 months, and I know that you've got one particular guy. In fact, there's a few who almost like they pay you serious retainers, don't they?
Yeah, they pay me monthly fees to manage the portfolio, but I mean I've systemised it, so I don't have to do much.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll pay me a monthly fee just to sort of get priority access to my deals. And I'm not talking like 20 quid; it's a few £100s. Like.
Yeah.
And that they want recurring deals because they know the way I work. But equally, I want them as investors because they're easy to work with, and I know they're serious. So you don't need thousands of investors to get a really good sort of monthly income.
Yeah, and I know. Tell me your ideal investor that you really love working with.
Ideal investor is one that's got probably somewhere around 200,000 in the bank. They want to buy more than one house. They want to buy quick. Most importantly, they're only bothered about numbers. They don't want to view it. They're not fussed about photos or condition or the location. It's, will it rent? Yes, okay. How much does it rent for? Right. What's my cash flow and what's my ROI? How much money do I need to put in?
Yeah.
Done. And that's it. They don't care.
Yeah.
And you could hand them a £2 million sourcing fee. If the numbers worked out and it's worth it, they'd pay it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the bottom line is, if you find me a house and it's worth 200,000, but you find it for 100,000, I'm saving 100,000.
Yeah.
I'm making 100,000 man equity. I'd be happy to give you 10,000 for that.
Yeah.
So it's all about the deal. It's all about the numbers. So, all right, let me ask you a couple of questions that I get quite a lot, and I'm sure you'll be able to answer well. Number one, why would you not buy the properties yourself? If they're so good, why wouldn't you buy them yourself?
I have limited money. I think most people, well, everybody has a limited pot of cash. Yeah, you know people are rich, but you have a limited pot. I'm funding a lot of deals. I probably need in the region of £1 million a month cash to buy every deal that comes through. That's a lot of money. I don't have that sort of money.
Yeah.
Second thing is time. Buying a house, it's not a stressful process, but it does take time. And when you've got a number of houses going through at the moment, you couldn't possibly do them all by yourself. It's a full-time job, just speaking with solicitors and arranging mortgages.
You're so right.
So doing that, I don't have time to do all of it. And yeah, I would buy every deal, but I also know when I vet a deal, if it's making 25% return, I know I can probably find 40%. So I might hold out for a slightly better one, but you don't get those all the time. I mean, 25% is a great deal, don't get me wrong. But, and I would buy it, but I also know that because I can't buy every deal, I'd rather wait until get the best ones.
That totally makes sense. And it's interesting because I know there's some people that come through the crash course and they're not full-time deal sources. They're investors first and they're buying their own investors. But even they're passing, you're always going to find a property deal that you can't buy yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you can't buy everything good that you find.
No.
It might not be in your area, in your patch. It might not fit your strategy. It might be that you happen to already have 2 properties going through and a third one's just going to be too much for you or too much for cash, or you can't get the mortgage on it. Or there's so many reasons as to why I think it's good to have that string to your bow where you can pass properties on. But what you're doing really interesting is it's not a string to your bow. This is your main thing.
It's my bow.
It's your bow, but then I love the fact that's your bow at the moment, but in a year or two, it might not be. In a year or two, you might have gone, right, I've saved up a load of money, I've had a load of fun skiing and stuff, I've got the experience, now I'm going to stop buying some serious properties. But when you get to that stage, the properties that you'll be dangerous because the properties that you'll be buying
are going to be good.
Oh yeah,
they're all going to be really good.
Like, what about that property that you just found? Was it yesterday?
Yeah, so I found out it was a buy refurb property in Liverpool. Rough figures, I was buy it for about 55,000. Well, that's how much they want for it. I think we can probably get it for about 50. It's worth 85 when it's done up. It needs a new kitchen. It needs painting throughout, new carpets. The bathroom's in really good nick and the boiler's brand new. Other than that, basically everything needs doing. It's about £12,000 worth of costs, including about 2,000 worth of contingency. After you've paid your solicitor's fees and your stamp duty and everything else like that, and you refinance to the new value, you're leaving about £4,000 in. And it's
so you're expecting to be able to pull nearly all of your money out?
Nearly all of it. It's basically what I'm leaving in is my fees.
Yeah.
And yet it's going to be an HMO. It's going to be a 4-bed HMO. It's in a really good area.
Nice.
I spoke to an HMO manager, the biggest one in Liverpool. He's got an HMO in every single postcode. And he knows that area. He goes, yeah, that'll let out really well. 4-bed, doesn't need to be licensed, but it'll still have fire doors and everything else. That's included in the cost. And it's going to net about 550 quid a month, which works out.
So 550 a month, if you put down, what's the ROI on that?
Like 170% or something.
170%.
And that's a purchase, not even like a controlling property.
Yeah.
Like an SA.
See, these kind of deals, I mean, I've just completed on one yesterday, I don't know if I told you, but it's very similar kind of figures.
Yeah.
They are there. Why would somebody, I was going to ask a question which kind of sounds like a stupid question now, even though I get asked it a lot. And the question is, why would you pay someone to find you a property that you could find yourself? Especially as some of these properties are coming from agents and stuff like that.
That one is on Rightmove.
So why? So what do you say to someone that says, "Why would I pay you £3,000 or whatever when it's on Rightmove? I could have just found it myself." What's your response?
Why haven't you found it?
Boom. Yeah.
They're out there, you know, and there's more than one. But do you want to go view them? Let's be honest, you could view 10 of those and they could all be crap. You've wasted a whole day.
Yeah.
Or you could find 10 they're all really good. You don't really know until you go view them.
It depends how much you value your time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You see, I know a lot of your investors are quite wealthy. They might not even, a lot of your investors don't even live in England.
No, they don't.
They're from Dubai.
Yeah. It's like an 8-hour flight plus stoppages and stuff to get here. So by the time they've got here, they've had food, paid for the flights, gone back home again. Just their raw expenses at the time is probably more than £3,000.
Yeah. It just makes sense to pay someone £3,000 rather than coming down, spending a day viewing, then the viewing's cancelling, which a lot of them do.
Yeah. I had about 3 or 4 cancel yesterday.
Yeah, there we go. Messing around, finding the builders, which you do.
Yep.
Getting the quotes, negotiating with the agent. Some people would just say, well, the house that I just bought yesterday, I actually paid a source, you know, Paul and Anne?
Yeah.
I paid Paul and Anne a sourcer's fee and they found the house.
But they know that area, I think, probably better than anybody else.
They know the area better than I know the area.
Yeah.
So I think, well, why wouldn't I pay someone? You know? And it's one of the things that happens with the academy. Like, it's really interesting. Some people are buying deals off each other, selling deals to each other.
I've sold deals to people in the academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's easy to work with people. And the other thing about the academy there is everybody knows what's a good deal as well. So I'm selling one.
Yeah.
I can't lie. They've been on the training.
Oh, yeah.
They know whether
See, I was going to say that as well. I think anyone that's watching this video, I personally think, and you might disagree with me, and you might have a commercial, you could argue that we have an agenda. You could say that my agenda is to sell training courses.
You could argue that, but...
You know that's not true.
It doesn't come across, it never feels that way, so I don't honestly think it's good. That's true. I don't think that is...
It's really not. It's really not true.
No.
I think people should go on training because I believe in education, and I think that a deal sourcer can not you, but a lot of them will pull the wool over your eyes and sell you bad deals.
Yeah.
Now I know I've sold deals. They haven't all gone to plan. Not every deal. In property, sometimes things go wrong. It's not about did anything ever go wrong. It's about what did you then do? How did you fix it? We've had things go wrong.
Yeah.
But there's some property sources that sell bad properties for a quick fee.
Yeah.
Run off with your money.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're going to buy properties, even if you're planning on paying sources, I still think you should get the training because otherwise people can pull the wool over your eyes.
Yeah.
I'll pay sources, but I'm coming from a position of knowledge. I know what's a good deal. No one can pull the wool over my eyes. I know you deal with people that are pretty competent investors usually.
Yeah, I mean, they're competent with money as well, and they understand stuff, and they understand the way figures work. I mean, you build up a working relationship with people, so after you've done a few and they get used to it, I think they probably might stop asking. I definitely have seen them ask less questions as things goes on. But then it would ruin my reputation, and I'd be done as a sourcer if I started selling crap deals. In the space of 2 weeks, you could lose everything if you start selling stuff.
And you know how it works. So. When people are happy, they don't tend to say anything.
Yeah.
But when people are upset, they let the world know.
Oh yeah.
So you've only got to upset one person.
Yeah.
And then you've outdone the 10 good ones that you did.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's a reputation thing. Reputation is so important. So let me ask you a question. Where and how do you find these investors? Because you've said some of them have come from the academy. That's great, but not all of them.
No, vast majority haven't.
Okay.
I've met a few through Facebook. I haven't done a lot of Facebook advertising or marketing or anything like that. I'm not very salesy or anything. That's just from constantly adding value to people, and that's the first thing to say about everything. If you want someone to invest with you, you need to invest in them first by giving them something of value. There's loads of different ways you can do that. You can give them a book. You could, I don't know, give them a free training course. You could give them some sort of a free deal or what. It could literally could be anything.
A one-on-one, a free consultation.
One-on-one. That's kind of what I do, is where you sit down with them and go, okay, you've got 100,000. How do you want to invest that? Yes, you could buy one property in London, but you can also do this, and you get way higher returns. And that usually works pretty well for me. I found people. That's my sort of niche area in terms of my free gift. The other thing I would say is just get out there, tell everybody what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's worked really well for me, and I've met loads of friends and family almost, or people that I know of, maybe don't know that well, and then suddenly just turn around and go, oh, they've got like 100k in the bank, they want to invest it. And they come to you because you've told them you're an investor. You haven't even gone, oh, I'm looking for investors, I want to sell deals to someone. You've just said, you just told everyone knows what you're doing because you're an investor, and you're a deal sourcer, so they come and they want to chat to you about it. And then the third thing is just network. I've done a lot of networking. I spent a lot of time traveling across the country, to sort of Peterborough, Leeds, Sheffield, Manchester, Birmingham, London. I've done a lot of networking in London.
So what kind of networking events do you go to?
Property and business related ones. Business is very good. I find property related stuff in London is very commercial and development orientated. So as a residential deal source, I don't have much competition. Outside of London, there's a lot more residential deal sources. So the property investing there, networking for investors is slightly harder because you've got a lot of people wanting to sell deals. Yeah. But the business side of stuff, like the B&I things, where it's not property related specifically, it's just business and money orientated, I suppose. Being able to offer 20% returns or even 10% returns blows people's mind. Yeah. I remember chatting to one guy, he's like, so you can get like 14%? And I went, yeah, you could give me 14%, not even own the house. If you want to own it, then you can get like 25. And he was just blown away. He thought, that's not even possible. Yeah. Well, it's amazing. It is.
The thing is, though, I mean, when you learn the skills to be a good deal sourcer, you're so valuable to people.
Oh, yeah.
You're so valuable to people because one of the best ways to make money is through property. Mm-hmm. When you, like you do, know how to make money in property, and you know that skill, then the world is your oyster. Yeah, people will joint venture with you. Yeah. People will give you money to invest. People will pay you money to find them deals. It's just...
And you can help people. Yeah. So I've started helping a few sort of friends and family who are in fairly tricky situations. And as far as they're concerned, the only way of buying and selling a house is just buying and selling it. There isn't any other way in which you can do anything with the house. Yeah. I can come along and go, actually, there's quite a bit of potential here. And you can really ease people's pain, or like take what they think is going to be $100,000 bill and you knock it down to about £5,000 because you're able to reconfigure what they want to do or how they want to buy the house or something like that. You can really be really highly valuable to people. So yes, they pay you lots, but also you can give back in a way that sort of helps people out, and you don't want a fee from it because they're like family. Yeah. But it means the world to be able to sort of see someone's life go from really stressful, really like sad. You know, if you're losing your house, it's not an enjoyable experience. But if you're able to come in and step in and help them out, it's nice to be able to
money comes when you add value. You add value to the motivated sellers, and then you get the deal. Yeah. You add value to investors, and then you get. It's all about adding value, and then the money follows. Yeah. I mean, dude, you probably hear this a lot, and I know I'm a young guy, but you do not speak like a 21-year-old.
No, I guess I don't.
You're a freaky 21-year-old.
I've spent a lot of time hanging around with people who aren't like normal people. Yeah. And I would say that if you want to kick ass in property or in any sort of walk of life, you need to be around people who are kicking ass. Yeah. And true. If I want to succeed in property, I need to sort of hang around.
And you do that.
And Russell, and I'm with the team a lot. I'm at every crash course. I'm at all the training.
You're at every crash course.
Everyone.
We had a crash course last weekend.
And
you were there. This weekend and the weekend after that.
And the weekend after.
I was going to say, how'd you have the time? But you've left your job.
Yeah.
You know,
and you can work in an evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I need to call agents when they're open, but I can do all my due diligence.
But when you come to the crash course, James, as well, you're not like there with your own agenda. You're not there trying to sell your deals, and you're just there to be around like-minded people.
Yeah.
Let me and other successful people rub off on you.
Yeah.
You're doing fantastic.
Yeah, and pick good friends as well.
Yeah. You've got a lot of good friends now, I know.
Yeah, I do, in the academy and outside of it as well. A couple of my two best mates, for example, they're not normal people either.
Yeah.
They're quite sort of clued up. They've got various friends that do, and family members that are fairly wealthy, and they've done all sorts of different types of investing and stuff. But being able to sort of use them then and get access to their friends and family, whether it's property or just business or whatever it might be, if people are successful, there's something about them that's made them successful. And the mindset in one area of business often translates over to another area as well.
Absolutely. And it's the same as me. When I started out, I was a teenager and I just put myself, people say you got lucky. No, I put myself in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And the right place is at property events, at seminars, networking programs. That is the right place. And the right time is when you're ready to take action.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so what advice would you give someone then that was watching this, that was maybe in their 20s, they want to go into property full time, they also hate their job.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to them?
I actually did a video on this, and there's a few things I'd say. The first one is get trained.
Yeah.
You need training, education. There's a number of books I can recommend. But other than that, it's you need to get trained. And books started out for me, but to really get the in-depth knowledge and to see it live, get yourself along to an event. And the first one I'd suggest is a crash course all day long. Yeah. You don't have to go any further, but even the crash course is enough to see people succeed. I know people have been on the Winners on a Wednesday who've just done the crash course.
Yeah.
So there's so much value in that. And then I would highly recommend signing up to everything afterwards.
Yeah.
The whole thing, just get on the academy.
And the crash course as well, sometimes people think that it's going to be a 2-day sales pitch. What's it like?
It's 2 days of value and high energy.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's just awesome. Yeah, fine, you can buy a product, but it's a class product. You should be buying it. So,
yeah. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
So what's next then for you, James?
Next, continue to sort of source and build up the sourcing. So I've got more and more deals going through every month to a point where I'm at a point I need to employ somebody or get a PA or something like that to help me out. I don't think I'm too far away from that. Then it's going to be, as I am at the moment, building up a cash pot to invest. I've got a number of quite awesome investments which I haven't actually put out to my investors yet because they would sell like that, but I want them. And I can see what's coming up, and I'm going, okay, we can structure this, and I can get that.
Signs of a good property sourcer are when it pains the property sourcer to let go of the deals.
Yeah.
That means if the property sourcer's like, yes, I sold the deal, then that's not bad. But when the property sourcer's like, oh, I sold the deal,
I really didn't want to.
That means they're a good sourcer.
Yeah.
You know, so that's awesome.
Good. And then on to sort of developments and refurb projects. I love buying refurbing stuff. As well as making money and getting a house quite cheap in the end because you've refinanced, pulled your money back out. You're adding a massive amounts of value to the community. You know, your neighbours now don't have a dog hole next to them. They've got a glorious house. You brought the whole street up in value. Suddenly you're going to get better tenants and you're solving a housing shortage in this country.
Yeah.
So you're doing a big service to the community and you're getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
So I think I love buying refurbing stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome, bro. And I know your faith's really important to you as well.
Massively, yeah. Alongside the property mentoring, I've just started some spiritual mentoring as well. So
great, so important.
I think it's massively important, and it's helped me as well. I don't really get bogged down with sort of stress and problems and things like that. But I don't really look. Faith for me isn't an outlet for help, but it's more an opportunity to just make myself better and to grow more. I've had doors open that I never would have thought opened if I genuinely believe that is a spiritual divine influence that's allowed that to happen. So
that's amazing, bro. Yeah. Really good what you're doing. How would someone get in touch with you if they want to reach out to you, want to get on your deal sourcing list?
So you want to get on the list, you've got to chat to me first because I've got to vet you. Yeah. I don't know if you're serious. True. I know a lot of people you can join up to a list and that's great, but for me, because it's bespoke and it's specific, I need to know that you're a serious investor. But I'm on your Facebook page. You'll find me on there.
I'll put a link below to the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Which is Property Investors with Samuel Leeds.
If you sign up to the academy, you'll find me there at any of the courses.
Obviously.
Come to a crash course, you'll find me there.
Yeah.
But I'm on Facebook and all the rest of them, so just sort of search for me there and then you'll
James Armstrong. Check him out. Find him on Facebook. Bro, you're amazing. Thanks for coming on the show.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Hope you found that useful, guys. We're going to have another winner next week. So take action. Get yourself to the crash course. implement the knowledge, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for watching the video. That is the reason why I'm doing this. Your success is my oxygen. Every single week we've got people becoming financially free. If you'd like to see more success students, you can do that right here. But what I'd really suggest is, why don't you come and join us at the Property Investors Crash Course? Come along, my guest, completely free, and I'll personally be there for 2 days to help you get started. You can see what happens right here. What you'll notice is all of these stories, they all start at the crash course. So come along, my guest, can't wait to see you there. Peace out.